Hi, everyone. Welcome to another call for Avini Vibes. And guys, want to remind you of something, and that is um, we make no medical claims. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any symptom or disease. Rick's quote, and I love it. I share it a lot with everyone, and that is a cleaner, healthier body fixes itself. And guys, we are here to educate about our products, which Ed's going to do wonderfully, and our Vini Health business and the company, which is amazing. So I'm going to, and we have a guest speaker tonight, but I'm going to bring her on right after Ed comes and gives us an overview of our products for our guest. Okay, Ed, you want to come join us?
Yes. Okay. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to do a quick version and just give bullet points on each of our products.
They're playing Green Jones louder to shoot that three ball and she said, listen,
Okay, I had to mute someone. Go ahead, Ed.
We good? Okay.
We're good.
I'm going to get right to it. The tip of the spear that we have is our Cell Defender, and this is our natural zeolite, clinotolite, detoxolite branded name. What this does, it goes into the body, and there's such an influx in today's society and world of heavy metals. A lot of people don't know about them, but they're deadly. Over periods of time, you get small doses in pretty much everything that you eat, drink, breathe, all that. Our detoxolite goes into the body. Essentially, it's drops, and it's basically a negative rock mineral water. And when it goes into the body, they're little cages formed from lava and ash when they hit salt water. These cages are little cage-like structures. When they go into the body, they are attracted to and attracted and heavy metals, bad heavy metals are attracted to them. So what happens is, and this is so ingenious, Rick took 7 years to develop this. And what he had to do was take this dirt basically and reduce these little cages to less than a micron. And if you want to picture that, take some talcum powder and put it on your desk and try to pick a particle up. Well, that's big compared to our cages. And so these tiny cages go in, and bad heavy metals are positively charged. So they're attracted and they're ultimately sucked into the cages. The good metals we have, the potassium, magnesium, sodium, all those good things, they're not touched. They don't get in the cage. They're a little bit too big to get in. And so what happens when the bad metals are flushed out through our urine, the good metals are left alone, and they actually thrive. They like make babies. So the our Cell Defender, we could survive on that alone. This company could live strictly on Cell Defender. There's nothing else like it in the world. You can only get that through Avini. Nano silver is kind of the one. It's the 1-2 punch. Nano silver, since the Cell Defender takes out the dead stuff, the bad heavy metals, our nano silver takes out the live critters, the parasites, the bacteria, the yeast, the mold. Those things are killed by our nano silver. And that our nano silver is a spherical silver. And what you have there is not colloidal silver, which is too big, not ionic silver, which is too small. Colloidal silver bunches up and clogs up. If you ever seen a video of the blue men, they take too much colloidal silver and they cannot reverse that. Ionic silver messes with the immune system. Ours is right there in the middle. You can drink it, you can spray it. Carol put it on her arm and did an experiment over a few months, and all the brown little age spots, whatever you want to call them, disappeared. She came to Dallas, and the other arm had brown spots. She was a walking testimonial of the power of the nano, in addition to the nano killing all the things in her body. So the World Health Organization says that 99% of all disease is one of two things, or attributed to one of two things, either heavy metals and heavy metals and environmental toxins. We got that covered with these two. Then we go on to cover the rest of the body. Our mushrooms that we have, pretty brilliant. 7 medicinal organically grown mushrooms. They have to fight each other to survive. Essentially, they're fighting to survive. You've got cordyceps, you've got turkey tail, you've got 7 different power mushrooms. And so if you look at it very simply, they have to fight to survive, and then Rick capsulates them. They go in the body. Now they're fighting for our bodies to survive. So you've got walkie-talkies with these mushrooms. They talk to one another. They work in sync with the nano and the cell defender. And the other thing is I'm going to mention, it's so powerful, helps with the immune system, helps with the liver and the kidney. And there's nothing else like that. Everything I'm talking about, you can't find anywhere else. It's only here. And it's like Chip and I we're on a call today. Everything's vertically integrated. It's created by Rick in this lab by Rick, shipped by us. Everything is right here. Happen to be 15 minutes from my house, our lab, which is pretty cool. Plus Relief. I'm a big fan of Plus Relief. I have it right here. And I use this not very often, but if I have some pain in my shoulders or my neck from maybe sitting on the computer too long, or as a baseball player, my knees sometimes ache if I go out there and play baseball, like I did the other day for the first time in 15 years. And my knees were just kind of, I felt it, but 10 seconds, 30 seconds, this stuff goes on and you forget about it. This has Asian cobra venom in it. It's 600 times more powerful than morphine. It comes in a spray, which I also have, which goes in and generally takes care of pain. This is more concentrated. I put it on my knees a little bit, each knee, and it's pretty much instantaneous. Powerful, powerful product. Then we go on to the Plus Fiber. The Plus Fiber, I take these things every day, not the Plus Relief, but the Plus Fiber. The thing that's great about that is it's not just a fiber like you think of fiber as it's going to make you go to the bathroom. Our fiber also has our zeolite in it. And it's a coarser version of the zeolite, so it gently soothes and goes through the digestive tract to break up those things that would normally otherwise be very difficult to be broken up. And it sort of heats, what's the word? It thermogenically heats up the fat in your body. And what it does that, it breaks it down. Now, the toxins and the metals, a lot of those hide underneath of the fat. Picture a quilt you throw on top of a bunch of bad things, bugs or whatever it may be. When it's broken up, they get out. And I always use the analogy of the things that are in our body, the cell defender, the nano, and the things that we've got in there, that's our army. So if you picture a bunch of bad guys on enemies in a tank, there's 20 guys in a tank or 10 guys in a tank. And we attack it with the fiber. And then it heats up, and these guys got to get out. And our guys, the nano, the cell defender, the mushrooms, they're there to kill them, and we pee them out. We urinate them out. Tremendous product. I mix it with my Trim Science, which I'll get to in a second. Plus Balance, quickly, that's just hormonal. It helps with hormones for men and women. And the big thing for me, I had a liver issue a few years ago, is it helps the liver. It actually detoxes the liver. Plus Mind and Vision. This is a really unique combination. And the cool thing is the mind and the eyes are tied very closely together. So it helps with acuity in the brain. It also helps with vision. And in a lot of cases, people have said that their vision was getting worse and worse. And our Plus Mind and Vision either stopped it in its tracks or just take it back a step. So you get a little bit better. But a lot of problems with the eyes, they say it's just going to get worse and worse. Our stuff tends to stop it in its tracks and then get it a little bit better. Plus Hydration. Actually, I have some right here. Excuse the pink bottle. It's my wife's. Couldn't find the Macho bottle, my black one. So the Plus Hydration, I just got back from a walk. And what that is, in Chip's words, it makes water wetter. And Neil Roth said at a conference, and it always, these little things, these nuggets stick with me. One of these, which is basically the equivalent of a bottle of water, is like drinking 3 bottles of regular water. And so you don't need a lot of it. If you're very physically active, maybe 2 a day. I do 1. I just do some walking and stuff like that. And it tastes good. Everything we have, it tastes good. The fiber tastes good. Cardio Care. The Plus Cardio Care, it supports our entire cardiovascular system, stabilizes blood pressure, improves circulation, heart rate, rhythm, and the overall function and beating of the heart. One thing I forgot to mention about the fiber lowers blood sugar. It was a very instrumental piece in a buddy of mine who had to get rid of badly high sugar. And you probably know what I mean. I'm not going to mention the disease, but not only that, he lost 35 pounds in 8 weeks and the doctor said, I don't know what you're doing, but you don't need your meds anymore. Your numbers went from 8.8 to 5.5, throw them away. A very humble doctor. A lot of doctors will not do that, but in his case, and it was 8 weeks, and this is a year and a half ago, and he still doesn't have to have his meds. 8 weeks. And he was heading down the wrong road with his health. And let's see, I think I got one left. Meal replacement. This is pretty cool. I'm about 184 pounds. I just started the meal replacement 7 days ago. And I love the taste of it. It's got 21 grams of protein and it's got 22 essential nutrients. And it is amazing. Just a little bit of walking. I went from 190.6 7-8 days ago. I weighed this morning 184.2. And mine is visceral fat. And thank God. And my wife tells me I can tell a difference. I know I can feel a difference. So wherever it needs to be gone from is going away. And it feels so good, man. And I was like, I don't need that. And I like the taste of it. And that is one meal per day that I replace. And it's about done. My dinner is right there. It's almost done. And you do it 5 days a week is what Rick says. I mean, you can do it 7 if you want, I guess. And it's good for you. And so that is a quick summation. I just was told about this 15 minutes ago, guys. So I'm sorry if I skip some stuff, but that is a quick overview of what we have to offer.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right. And being on the spur of the moment, amazing. All right. So guys, we have a guest tonight, and our guest is Priscilla Passimo, and she has brought some guests with her, and we are going to be talking about women's health once again tonight. So Priscilla, you want to come and join us?
Sure. Thank you, Carol. It's so great to be here. I love Avini Vibes. What a great time we get to have every Thursday, getting together, talking about different topics that all pertain to the gifts that we have here at Avini Health, right? So it's an honor and a privilege to be here. Thank you. It's been neat to collaborate with you and with Christine with doing different themes, different things that we're talk about on Avini Vibes. So last week we talked about women's health with Marcy. We had a guest who talked about how Avini Health helped her to have her third child that she was told she wasn't going to be able to do. So that was a really great one if you get a chance to go back and listen to that. And then today we really wanted to talk to some of our nurses, why our nurses love Avini Health and what their experience is. And so I've invited my dear friend, Dawn Cummings. We had the opportunity to meet 2 years ago at the second summit in Las Vegas. So it's been a great journey. I love Dawn. I love her story. And I'd like to bring her on right now and have her share her experience with Avini Health, why she loves it, why she uses it, and how she shares it. So Dawn, will you please join us?
Thank you, Priscilla. Thank you, Carol, for hosting. I appreciate being asked to share tonight. I'll be very honest with you. I heard about Avini before it was Avini, but I only heard about that little bottle of drops. It was called Cell Defender. In fact, I told Paul Stowers, I said, I'll buy that wholesale, but I am never, ever going to sell anything because I'm a nurse. I love being a nurse. I don't need the money. And I'll just take it because I knew it was important. And so, jingle along, I didn't really ever learn about Cell Defender until Avini came, because just lots of things happening. And so, in September of 2021, I caught that nasty virus going around. I got pretty sick very quickly. The doctor asked me if I wanted to go on a ventilator, and I refused the ventilator. And little did I know what was going to all happen with my life, but I was on high levels of oxygen. They sent me home on high levels of oxygen. in all my nursing career of 40 plus years, I've never seen people sent home on 4 liters of oxygen. And so I was on that and was on it for a while, finally got myself weaned off. But little did I know I was going to have a lot of long lasting effects. Part of it was lightheadedness and dizziness, a headache, inability to sleep. Um, I wear an Apple Watch and I would get notifications just sitting on the sofa. Your heart rate's 145. Walking down the hallway, it'd be 187. And so, different testing, that kind of thing. The cardiologist said, I can't say the name, but he said, your heart is inflamed. The only way we could really tell is a biopsy, which means taking a piece of your heart muscle. I said, I'll pass on that, and kept going from there. And so along came Avini, and I started taking the Cell Defender. I did the Plus Relief for my constant headaches. I did the Z Immunity and the Nano Silver. And it took about a week, and I started to feel a little bit better. In about 2 weeks, I felt like that brain fog just lifted. And I was getting some energy back. My heart rate wasn't going in the 180s, it was down to the 140s. So I was with walking around, I should say. I wasn't really exercising much due to that risk. And so I was just so thankful about that. And then I was like, how can I not share this with people? And I still didn't really tell anyone for a while, but I met up with a young gal, and she had had a lot of the same problems that I was having, only more severe with some neurological, where her whole body would go numb on one side and she would fall. And that started about 4 months after having her baby, when she took a preventative. And so I said to her, I said, when you have this happen, does it feel like you've got like nerves, like, or something shooting up in the back of your head and then down your spine? And she's like, yes. So I had a partial bottle of Cell Defender in my van. I went and got it and I gave it to her. And so she started on the Cell Defender, and that started to help her. And then this immunity. And it was like that really built my belief in the products. I knew they worked on me. I knew they worked on my husband, but I was like, are they going to work on other people? So that really built my belief, and then started sharing. And then with Avini and everything, I work with a naturopath about 1 day a week. And so we see a lot of clients, and it's just fun to hear. She always says that, they need Avini. She loves the Cell Defender. And I'm like, they need more than just Cell Defender. They need da 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 da. And so she's like, you talk to them. And so I'll talk with them. And it's kind of fun. What, like, a client said to me today, and I didn't even know she had this issue, because it's embarrassing. She said, I had trouble that with, you know, I would, if I get up too soon, I'm wet. If I wake up in the night and I'm all wet, she said, I started the Plus Balance. And she goes, I don't know. That's the only thing different I'm doing, because I haven't been doing the exercises I'm supposed to do. And she said that, she says, I'm staying dry. And she's like just thrilled. And I said, I won't share your name because I know that's embarrassing. So, and then just lots of different things. Sorry, the sun's shining through the window. I can see that glare. But it's so exciting to be able to share with people and to see their health improve too. So, and as a nurse looking at the products, I love that, like, our capsules do not have fillers, because we have a lot of autoimmune in our family. And so we react to those things. And so it's so nice to not have those fillers, and to be able to take them and be confident that I'm not going to have a reaction. So, and I take all the products, and just started to do the weight challenge, and I've lost 7 pounds since May 5th. So loving it. So, and I haven't even started the weight training yet. So it's just with walking and and the fiber and the meal replacement. So trim science. Love them.
Awesome. And something that I remember too was you had some hair loss, right, with that virus?
I did. I lost probably 80% of my hair. Sorry, this camera is picking up that, but the sunshine that we actually have here in Michigan today, it's been so cloudy and rainy, so it's nice to see sunshine. But as the sun is going down, it's coming in our windows. So yeah, I lost probably 80% of my hair, and it didn't start coming back till I started the Avini. And then my cousin's like, I think you have more hair now than you had before. And I said, well, I don't know about that, but it definitely is thicker, and it's growing so much faster with the plus balance that I'm like, I think I'm going to have to change up what I do with my hair. So I'm loving it.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, I'm loving the plus balance too with the hair. Like I mentioned that on one of the calls, I've let myself go the gray, but I have some little brown hairs that are growing in now. So like, that's amazing. I love the plus balance. We're so blessed with that. So yeah, thank you so much, Dawn, for sharing your story. And I wanted to open it up. I don't know, I mentioned it this morning on our Rev call and invited to see if we had any other nurses that wanted to share. So I don't know if there's anyone here with us today that might want to share your experience. And even if you're not a nurse, if you have an experience you want to share, we'd love to hear you.
Let's see. I'm not seeing.
And if not, yeah,
I'm not seeing
that's
anyone
okay
raising their
too.
hand.
No nurses in the house?
Well, we have Dr. Nikita. You wanna share anything, Dr. Nikita?
Or if there's any questions for Dawn, she has a very powerful experience. So if there's any questions for Dawn as well, you're welcome to ask any questions.
No. Okay, I don't see anyone. Let's see. Let me check the chat and just make sure. Okay. Nope, nothing.
Oh, I have Suzette. Suzette, go ahead.
Oh, Suzette.
No question, Suzette.
Hiya. Thanks for your share, Dawn. I don't even know where to begin, but what I what I will say is that I have a friend who's been losing her hair. She was 60 last week. And she's been to see hair specialist, and I've forgotten the name. I was going to say dermatitis, but it's not dermatitis. Yeah, hair specialist, and she's seen a herbalist before, but her hair is still being lost, or she's still losing her hair. Could you say whether it's a combination of all of the products that you're taking, or do you think the hormonal balance was the one that tipped you over the edge to getting thicker hair?
So we did not have the plus balance when I first started. So the Z-Immunity has some benefits to hair on the research. So I'm sure that that's part of it. Sorry, I'm trying to. Oh, I don't know what's going to be better here. The sun. Um, so that's part of I know the Z-Immunity help, the plus balance. My hair is growing with each time Avini comes out with a new product, it's really helped even more. It's like, because even as a brain fog left, I forgot to share this part. I would like be talking and in the middle of the sentence, like not finish it. So my cousin would say, were you going to finish that? What was that? I added the plus mind and vision, and it really helped. And I added the plus cardio, and that really brought my heart rate down so that it wasn't racing anymore. So I really love that. And but then the plus balance, my hair's growing faster now. So I don't know if you can tell, but I had my hair highlighted, and this is like less than 4 weeks. And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to keep getting my hair highlighted. I'm going to have to like let out because I was like a little towhead growing up, but it's just coming in darker, and so I'm just going to have to let it grow out because I'm not going to keep highlighting. I a little bit convicted about, I talk about toxicity, and I'm sure all that hair products not so not so healthy for me. So I did that, but so this immunity helped. And then the plus balance is helping it also. So, and I always say the cell defender too, it's the tip of the spear because we're all exposed to heavy metals. So, and I had a lot of exposure. I had 26 amalgam fillings in my mouth. I've had them removed. Some were removed the correct way and some were not. So, a lot of mercury exposure. My dad was a smoker, a lot of cadmium exposure. So, as a child, so those are at least a couple, and we all have arsenic and with foods, even though I try to eat as much organic as I can. So I that's kind of where I'm coming from. So I try to do everything I can, and I'm gonna have to completely move. Sorry about this, guys. I just see the sunshine. Maybe I should have it on my face. I don't know. But
Kind of like the sunshine
so
coming
that's
in.
what I noticed. So
Okay. Richard has his hand up. He has a question. Go ahead, Richard.
Dawn, when you had the fillings removed, I'm curious how'd they do it, and did you see a good reaction afterwards from it?
So, the more correct way, there's like you can go to a website and find it, but like they literally put a dam in my mouth. They put oxygen on me. I did not get IV vitamin C there. They didn't offer that. That's a good thing that they do. And like literally the doctor, they all wore masks and everything like that with the oxygen and everything and a lot of suction. I did notice improvement. So I don't know if you've ever heard of oil pulling, where you could put like coconut oil in your mouth to help pull out toxins. Before I had those removed, I could not even keep it in my mouth a couple minutes. It was so much that I would just be sick to my stomach. So after I had those removed, then I could keep it in for 10 to 15 minutes without a problem. So that was the first thing. I think back and I'm like, oh, I wish I had the cell defender back then because it would have been so much better um,
So
and
you,
less side effects. So I know that I've had exposure of mercury to my brain with the smoking teeth. So.
yeah, you sound similar to me. I grew up plagued with cadmium from my parents, and back then it was like five adults smoking in the house, and then my first wife, she smoked, and where I worked, they all smoked. So I literally had decades of cadmium. And so the plus balance has been huge in the cell defender, and I'm on all the products too. But that kind of worries me about the fillings that if I'm debating on whether or not I should take them out. I don't have as many as you do, but it sounds like it's another step forward if I do it.
Mhm. Yeah, has to be a decision, but definitely made a difference for me.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other questions? I'm not seeing anything else. Okay. All right. So anybody have anything that they would like to share around the different results that you're seeing on the products? Let's just have some people open up and share.
Bob Ostrom has Bob Ostrom has an extensive medical and research background, and she's had results. And I was thinking if Barb is available, she could speak some very interesting, informative pieces of info.
Wonderful. Are you there?
Thank you for shopping at the Home Depot.
Oh, hold on. Okay. I'm not seeing her.
Is Barb here?
Okay, well, if nobody wants to share, we're going to
There.
bring Chip on board. Is there somebody there?
Yeah, Barbara Ostrom's actually, she's on the screen. I mean, as a participant, unless she's just not
But
stepped away.
yeah, she's not coming on. So I think
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. All right. Hi, Barbara.
Yes,
Hi.
my girl. Hey, Barb. Yes.
Is there
What's
anything
happening?
you'd like to share?
Well, the Plus Balance, of course, has been wonderful for me. I've noticed a difference in um, controlling my bladder. I've noticed brown spots have disappeared from my hand. And my husband, Kent, has been under treatment for some bad cells in his bone marrow. And he's been using all of the products with a protein drink that I mix in the morning. And I just put the capsules and the fiber all together, all the powders together. Let's see, he's been doing this since February. In his last labs, the bad proteins that these bad cells make have dropped by 50% on his last laboratories. And his blood count has come up. So like his ability to not lose his breath and things like that, because his red cells, that carry the oxygen, they got knocked down and they're back up. So we are doing the program that the doctor wants to do, but we're also doing the Avini products. The Marcy dose of the Cell Defender, fiber twice a day, all of the other products. The immunity mushrooms, he's doing 4 to 6 a day. And let's see, the Cardio Plus, the Mind and Vision, and the Plus Balance. And he doesn't like chocolate, so he's using a protein drink by another company that's vanilla. But then I'm also putting the capsule powders in, and then we use frozen fruit like blueberries, strawberries, raspberries. They have a low glycemic index. So his blood sugar his A1C has pretty much stayed the same, even though one of the meds they give him is spikes his sugar for 48 hours. Let's see. just on the spur of the moment here, I'm just trying to think here of other things.
One thing that that almost no one knows in the depth that you do, Barb, because of working in the lab in Montana, is the term osmolality. You say you were running osmolality tests in your lab before Rick ever used the word. Could you tell us something? And that goes along with our Plus Hydration product.
Mm-hmm. Well, I taught clinical chemistry at the University of Colorado Med Center in Denver. And that was a kidney transplant hospital. And one of the tests that they would do for kidney function is they would do an osmolality on the urine and an osmolality on the serum from the blood. And they could tell a lot about kidney function pre and post transplant. And so what osmolality is the transfer from a lower from a higher concentration to a lower concentration. So there's a number used for osmolality, and our stomach contents are usually 250. And the osmolality of the Plus Hydration is less than that. So the long chain polysaccharides in that pull the electrolytes and everything in the Plus Hydration out to our cells, because they're going from a lower concentration out to the higher concentration, or it will leave. I probably had that mixed up, but it has to do with concentration. And so our electrolytes and the polysaccharides that replace our muscle glycogen then go out to our cells. And so it's like taking our whole body takes a drink at once. It doesn't sit in your stomach. It doesn't raise your sugar. And it's just a fabulous way to stay hydrated.
I
And
have been waiting for a chance to ask you that, and I'm sure glad that everybody got to hear you answer. I knew you knew, but I've never heard you say all that before. That's really interesting.
Oh.
Thank you, Barb.
A good way to describe it is, if you have, let's say you're making a light syrup for canning, or you put sugar in water. And if you had the sugar dissolved in the water, and then if you had another just container of water, if you poured the concentrated sugar syrup into the water, they would equilibrate. That means they would equal the same after a while. So the desire to have equilibration is what drives this. And people worry about the polysaccharides in that, plus hydration, but they're the kind that don't spike your sugar. So you shouldn't worry about it spiking your sugar.
All right.
Awesome details. Thank you for all those details. I think we all know a whole bunch more about osmolality than almost anybody in the world right now after that answer.
Oh my
That's awesome.
Word. Well, I'm always wanting to learn, and I want to share, and really Rick explains it better than anybody does.
So just a little lesson for everybody about network marketing. Barb was a professor at a university level. Now she's a network marketer. Do you know the difference between a professor and a network marketer, everyone? The network marketer invites their own class. That's the difference.
I tell you another difference, having been a university professor. You can make much more money in MLM than you can being a university professor. It only has prestige, but it doesn't work at the grocery store.
Thank you for that detail, Sandra. That's nice. That was our business presentation for the night, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it.
Oh, I love it. Oh my goodness. I love this family.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Barbara, for sharing that with us. Is there anybody that has any questions or wants to share anything? We're going to move toward ending our call. Chip, is there anything more that you'd like to share before we have other people share? Is there anything else?
Well, it's a wonderful thing to come and listen.
Yeah.
And, we all got fed tonight, and I'm sure we all got some details. And, it's really, really special. And to have our first guest on Avini Vibes from the UK is a pretty big deal in our world too. So thank you so much for attending. And I did watch your face, Suzette, and a lot of times you were agreeing and bobbing your head or looking like, oh, that's new, or yeah, that makes sense. And so, guess what? Almost nobody around you knows what's going on. What an opportunity to, do what Sandra said. There is income attached to telling people about this, just in case you were wondering.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Sandra, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
I was talking even tonight with a new person, and my question is, when is it advisable to take more than one meal replacement in a day? She wants to lose more than 50 pounds, and she's used some of the other products, but even with the Trim Science, she has not dropped the amount that she was hoping to have dropped in this time. So she was saying, can she do more than one a day? And I'm just asking, when is that advisable, or is it?
Okay, so I've been there when Rick was asked that question, and he said that you can certainly do two. He suggests that you make sure that you have some, good nutrition in your diet. So you shouldn't go totally on there. The Avini Trim Science meal replacement and protein shake is designed to put a nice safety net under your nutritional needs. And the things you're most likely to be missing or short on are in there. And it's not intended to megadose. It's intended to make sure that if you're missing something, that you catch it. It really is interesting to see people improving in their body composition, not necessarily weight loss, but body sculpting, I say. Whether you're getting bigger or smaller, you want to stay lean and mobile. And so you could certainly do two. You could do three if you wanted, but you should, you have to have, good macro diet of some kind. Whether you eat once a day or however often you do, you need to have some great balanced nutrition, and because there's something in everything. I try to eat weird things. I try to choose something that's really unusual, thinking there might be something in there I'm not getting anywhere else. For example, we have selenium, a metal that's very likely to be missing in our product line. And if you don't have selenium, you're in big trouble because that's required. It's one of the things required to convert thyroid hormones into, running your thermostat. Magnesium, very common, but most people are low on it in the United States. Something like calcium, most people do get enough, but the products help to keep it moving. Even a good metal that stops someplace and becomes a stone isn't helpful. So that we call that shuttling, where the good metals get picked up and spun and moved along their way, not excreted, but just picked up and spun and kept moving. Nothing to see here. Keep moving, so they don't become a stone or an occlusion. It's calcium that makes occlusions in the blood. Calcium often is involved I was speaking with Ed today to a woman who is a myofascial expert, and she was talking about the things that jam up joints and jam up muscles. So calcium that stops moving is one of those, and she uses touch to keep it moving. We use products in the same way. You can certainly use both. So there's a few thoughts to wind up our call. Thank you so much for hosting, Carol, and for founding this call. You and Christine, I think, are our founders, and our hearts are, my heart's really with her and Craig tonight. That ongoing surgery tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, guys. Please keep Craig in your prayers. And Deborah has her hand up. We're just going to go ahead and take her, and then we'll end our call. Go ahead, Deborah.
Thank you so much, Carol. I could put my camera on. I was really busy today. I have a question. Chip, I want to just thank you so much for getting back to me in regards to my swollen feet issue.
I got an education answering you. I knew some, but when I started digging into it a little bit more, we found some great stuff about that, didn't we?
Yeah, we sure did. I love the videos you attached for me and everything. You mentioned just now about magnesium, and I did went and I bought, a good brand of magnesium. How much magnesium do I need to take? Because I'm also taking the hydration because every so often I will get those leg cramps as well. So someone had mentioned to me as well, about maybe my body may be lacking magnesium as well. So I know I'm taking, I don't know how many milligrams, but I know I'm taking it in the daytime. Should I take it in the afternoon as well?
Well, spreading it out is good. The big key for restless leg or leg cramps at night, plus hydration will stop 90% of the people that have that problem from having that problem. And I'm so tickled. There were some great testimonies on this call about plus balance. We started the morning, and my little deal is, it's something that works with hormones that's good for both men and women. And one of the things, we work with people, many of us between 70 and 90, that are on these calls, and the men slow down urinary wise to a trickle. The women, they don't have any trouble, but they slow down to a trickle and they can't quit. And Neil says, walk into a retail drugstore. If you wonder what problems are afflicting mankind, look at the size of the display on the shelves. One of the biggest displays is for women's incontinence. And one of the biggest things that we're hearing on this call is all of a sudden control again. And for men, one of the biggest fears is PSA numbers. And you heard it on this call tonight. PSA numbers coming down precipitously in a short time with this product. And evidence of being a more youthful organism includes hair, skin, and nails. I just spent 7 weeks in Florida hanging around with Rick and immersed in Avini. And in 7 weeks, I had to cut my nails 3 times. That's way more than usual. And hair's starting to grow on people and come back in different colors, and skin. And so then imagine your connective tissue throughout your body. You are made of better stuff. One of the big problems with humans, being polluted like we are, is that we are gradually being made of worse and worse stuff till we're made of, looks like wet tissue paper. People are falling apart, decomposing while still alive. And Avenians are flipping that around, and we are, becoming attributes of a younger, more vibrant organism. And that's I think that's the main message for tonight from me, Carol.
I think so too. Okay, well, we have 2 more hands up. Hannah, you want to share real quick?
Thank you, Chip.
Yeah, I just want to share something that somebody said, I'm a science geek. And they were talking about pivotal changes in their life where they were in this business and they were in the corporate world and they went into working with magnets or something, and they can't read enough about science. And, and I think many of us just have kind of given up that we can be a science geek, but I really understand that I'm a real science geek. And there are a lot others of us that are out there that are wanting to learn. So if you are saying, what are you? Just say, I have a love of science. I'm a science geek at 75. I can't learn. I educate myself, and I'm educating myself with a product that I can share about it and teach others. And then we can replicate. Maybe somebody loves what I love. So I just share that. And then at something very recently, I just found my own zeolite. This is a clinoptilite zeolite. I have my own pet clinoptilite zeolite, and I found it at the women's conference that I was just at. So wherever you're, anywhere where there are crystals and whatever, she never carries this with her, but Helen carried it there. So if you always ask, okay, and you will find your own personal pet, your own personal zeolite, to be the real science geek and look at it and just know what it's doing for me and what it can do for everyone else.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, Hannah. Okay, Richard, and then we are going to close our call today.
Okay, just a short thing on meal replacement. I'm coming up with a recipe to do a meal replacement log with honey, with trail mix, Rice Krispies, peanut butter, roll it up, put it in parchment paper, put it in the refrigerator, and you can slice it up. And on your way to the event, you'll have your meal replacement, and it tastes good, and you don't have to go to fast food or any of that.
As an ingredient, Richard, while you're doing that, plus hydration, that stuff that it makes in the bottom of the cup, have you ever just chewed that up? It's delicious. And the texture, it might be an ingredient for your bar.
Yeah, okay. I like that.
I can see we're going to get recipes now for the meal replacement. I can see it coming. Oh my!
We're always thinking, Carol.
I love it. I totally love it. Thank you. Priscilla, thank you for being our guest speaker tonight. Thank you, Don, for coming and sharing with us. Oh my goodness. And Chip, always thank you for really educating us around what we've got our hands on, what this is all about. And what this is all about, guys, is living a healthier life and a wealthier life.
And Barb too on osmolality.
And
All we have to do
Barbara,
is ask
yes,
Barb.
absolutely. Thank you, Barbara, for stepping in and sharing with us something we really didn't understand before. So thank you. Yeah. So everyone, this recording will be it's recorded and you will be able to get a hold of it. And we will see you guys next week, next Thursday. Oh, and happy Memorial Day. It's coming up. So bye everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Happy Memorial Day and best to Christine.
Yes. And thank you, Ed. That was awesome. Spur of the
Great
moment.
job, Ed.
Thank you.